Hello friends, in last lecture we have seen that such type of equation is called Volterra summation equation of convolution type. Why we call it as convolution type? Because of this term. There are such two functions u of k minus m minus 1 into im, that is the convolution type product is this, therefore we call it as convolution type. Summation equation as it contains summation equation, and Volterra, this upper limit is variable m from 0 to k minus 1. We know that Volterra integral equation is there and it is of this type: u of x equal to f of x plus integral from something a to x, right? Integral from something a to x, your k of tx or xt, whatever you want there, into ut into dt. This k is called kernel of this integral equation. Ut is repeating there. In the same way, yk is also repeating here, isn't it? So such types of equations are called Volterra summation equations in place of Volterra. These are Volterra integral equations. This is about Volterra summation equation, in which this term is now called kernel of this equation, where fk and uk minus m minus 1 are given. If your this fk is 0, then this is called homogeneous, otherwise it is called non-homogeneous, as in the case of Volterra integral equations. Okay, to solve such equations, first of all, what was to do? Replace k by k plus 1, so that this becomes yk plus 1 equal to fk plus 1 plus summation m from 0 to k, k by k plus 1, uk minus m ym. Now uk minus 1 ym and its a summation from m equal to 0 to k, this is become uk star yk. That is convolution of sequence uk and yk. And after that, we take z transform on both sides and using the condition y0 equal to f0. By putting k equal to 0 here, this term becomes 0. So y0 equal to f0. That is the case. We'll go for solution of this. Solve the Volterra summation equation. Yk equal to 1 plus 16 times m into summation from k equal to 1 to summation from m equal to 0 to k minus 1, k minus m minus 1 into ym for k greater than or equal to 0. Now here, first thing, replace k by k plus 1. So replacing k by k plus 1, this becomes yk plus 1 equal to 1 remains as it is plus 16 summation from m equal to 0 to k minus m ym. Now this is your k minus m. This function is your k minus 1, means uk minus 1, uk minus m equal to k minus m, isn't it? uk of uk minus m is k minus m, isn't it? So what will be uk? uk becomes k only. uk becomes k. And this term becomes, now this term becomes uk into uk minus m into ym. So, and its summation from 0 to k. Therefore, it is a convolution of k and yk. K and yk. So 1 plus 16 times k and yk. Okay. Now taking z transform on both sides, we obtain the z transform of yk plus 1 is z into z transform of yk minus z into y0 equal to z transform of 1 plus 16 times z transform of k into yk. Now this right hand side equal to, now this becomes z into y of z minus y0 is 1. By putting k equal to 0 in this case, this becomes 1. So minus z equal to, now what about this? Z transform of 1 is z upon z minus 1 plus 16 into, we know the convolution theorem, z transform of convolution of two functions is equal to z transform of first into z transform of second, that we have taken. So this is a left hand side equal to z upon z minus 1 plus 16 times, right? Z of k is, what about z of k? Z upon z minus 1 whole square into z of yk is this capital Y of z. by taking y0 equal to 1. Now collect the terms of capital YZ. Here it is Z and here it is 16z upon z minus 1 whole square into yz. So I will take z into 1 minus sorry 16 upon z minus 1 square into y of z equal to z upon z minus 1 plus z. This minus z goes to right hand side and this is plus z, which implies 1 minus 16 upon z minus 1 square into yz equal to, dividing both sides by z, we get 1 plus 1 upon z minus 1. This we have taken first and this we have second. Therefore yz equal to, what about this bracket? This bracket is nothing but your cross multiplication. Z minus 1 whole square minus z upon z minus 1 whole square. Right. If this goes to right hand side, what will happen? Z minus 1 square upon z minus 1 square minus 16 will be in multiplication with these two. So we get 1 into z minus 1 square upon z minus 1 square minus 16 plus, right? Multiplying z minus 1 square upon z minus 1 square minus 16 to this, we get z minus 1 square upon this z minus 1 as it is into z minus 1 square minus 16. Now in both these, this z minus 1 square is common as well as z minus 1 square minus 16 is also common. But that can be also written as z square minus 2z plus 1 minus 16, which is equal to z square minus 2z minus 15. So that is here into bracket. Now we get 1 plus 1 upon z minus 1. That is z minus 1 square upon, this can be written as z minus 5 into z plus 3 into bracket. Now cross multiplication, z minus 1 plus 1 upon z minus 1, that is only z upon z minus 1. This becomes z, now this becomes z minus 1 cancels with 1 z minus 1, we get z into z minus 1 upon z minus 5 into z plus 3, which is equal to z into, you can write it as z minus 1 upon z minus 5 into z plus 3. Now for this we have to make partial fractions, and that is z into 1 by 2 upon z minus 5 plus 1 by 2 upon z plus 3. How we obtain this? By taking z minus 1 upon z minus 5 into z plus 3 equal to something a upon z minus 5 plus b upon z plus 3. You consider these things, and then after solving it you will get a equal to 1 by 2, b equal to, if we solve this also, 1 by 2z plus 3 by 2 plus 1 by 2z minus 5 by 2. 1 by 2z plus 1 by 2z, we get z, which is already there, and plus 3 by 2 minus 5 by 2 plus 3 by 2 minus 5 by 2. What it becomes? Minus 2 by 2, that is minus 1, which is already there. Now this is nothing but 1 by 2 into z upon z minus 5 plus 1 by 2 into z upon z plus 3, right? But we know that z upon z minus 5 is the z transform of 5 to the power k. So this can be written as 1 by 2 into z transform of, right, 5 to the power k plus 1 by 2 into z transform of minus 3 to the power k. This is nothing but 1 by 2 into z transform of 5 to the power k plus z transform of 3 to the power k. If I, that can also be written as z transform of 1 by 2 5 to the power k, or z transform of this combined 1 by 2 z transform of 1 by 2 5 to the power k plus z transform of 1 by 2 minus 3 to the power k. So total you will get z transform of 1 by 2 into 5 to the power k plus 1 by 2 into minus 3 to the power k. So your left hand side is z transform of yk equal to, capital Y of z means what? It is just z transform of yk equal to z transform of 1 by 2 5 to the power k plus 1 by 2 minus 3 to the power k, and therefore yk become this one, that is 1 by 2 5 to the power k plus minus 3 to the power k is the required solution. So in this way, we can solve the Volterra summation equation of convolution type. There are many other examples which can be solved there. Okay. Now we have a Fredholm equation also. We have a Fredholm equation also. What is the difference between Volterra and Fredholm equation? Only this. If upper limit is variable, Volterra, and if upper limit is constant, then it is called Fredholm, right? So here the equation of this form is called Fredholm equation. Yk equal to Fk plus summation from m equal to now a to b. M equal to, because upper limit is now constant here, k of k and m, that is kernel, into ym, for k lies between a to b. So this is called which separable kernel has a solution yk if and only if the equation I minus a c bar equal to u bar has a solution c bar. Now see what is meant by this. We are making the relation between solution of Fredholm equation and solution of such matrix equation. Okay, solution of Fredholm equation and solution of such matrix equation. We say that the Fredholm equation with separable kernel. What is meant by kernel is separable? K of k m. Kernel is separable means what? This can be written as alpha I of k into beta I of something m. Right? That is separate. You can separate the function of k and the function of m. That is the only case. And summation is there. I from something. That means alpha 1 of k into beta 1 of k plus alpha 2 of k, beta 2 of k, and beta 2 of m, and so on. That is called separable kernel. So a Fredholm equation with separable kernel has a solution yk if and only if the matrix equation has a solution c. What is c? C1, C2 up to Cp, it's a transpose, isn't it? What about C? I minus A, you know that what is meant by I minus A, it is some matrix like this, into, this is C1, C2 up to Cp, right? And equal to, U bar is like this, U1, U2 up to Up. Such type of equation we have to consider. So this equation has a solution yk if and only if such equation has a solution C bar. That is the relation between Fredholm equation and this matrix equation. Now if C bar is transpose of this vector is a solution of above equation, then the corresponding solution yk of Fredholm equation is given by yk equal to fk plus summation from I is equal to 1 to p of ci into alpha ik, where ci is given by this summation m from a to b beta im into ym, beta im into ym. Now from where we get this beta m? K of km is nothing but alpha I of k beta I of m. Alpha I at k beta. This is called separable kernel. From here we have taken beta and alpha. Beta and alpha there. So what we are saying, this equation has a solution if and only if this equation has a solution. Now this is the relation between these two. Now if we know the solution of this, if C bar is a solution of this, then the corresponding solution yk of your Fredholm equation is given by this one. Yk equal to fk plus summation from I is equal to 1 to p ci alpha ik. Ci alpha I k. Now alpha ik is from this one. And I from 1 to p means what? Again, this is separable kernel. So it is I from 1 to p. Isn't it? This one. Here it is beta I alpha I. I from 1 to p. Ci alpha ik. This is alpha I there. From where k lies between a and b. And ci can be given by this one. M from a to b. Beta im ym. Now we will prove that. That means if we know the solution of this matrix equation, find out C here, that is vector C, and therefore put in this way, in this you will get the solution of Fredholm equation. We'll prove it. Consider the Free-form summation equation with separable kernel K of Km. Here A and B are integers and the kernel Km is a sequence and kernel is Km and the sequence Fk are given. Since this equation is linear system of B minus A plus 1 equations in B minus A plus 1 unknowns Ya plus 1 up to Yb, so it can be solved by matrix method. Now, why we are saying it is a sequence of such type of equations? Because K lies from A to B, so you can take Y. If your A is 10, A is 0 and B is 10, what will happen? What you will get there? How many equations you will get there? First, Y0 equal to F0 plus summation from now 0 to here 10 K of Km Ym. One equation you get. Second, for Y1 F1 plus something, for Y2 F1 plus something, up to where Y10 you are getting, up to where you are getting Y10, Y10. Okay, so B minus A plus 1, A is 0 here, right? B is 10. So how many equations you will get? 11 equations. So we get, this is a system of 11 equations now. If your A is something 1, up to B is 10, 1 to 10, then you will get how many equations? B minus 1 plus 1 means total 10, because it will start from Y1 to Y10. So this is the system of n equations in B minus A plus, how many equations? B minus A plus 1 equations in B minus A plus 1 unknowns, right? Ya plus 1 up to Yb. So this can be solved by using matrix method. If you have given any system of n equations with n unknowns, you can solve it by matrix method. We can solve it by matrix. Suppose this is like this: a11 x plus a12 y equal to something b1, a21 x plus a22 y equal to b2. How to solve this? You can convert into matrix. This is a11, a12, a21, a22, matrix xy equal to matrix b1, b2. It can be two equations, two variables. You can transfer into such matrix equation. Three equations, three variables. That can be into matrix equation. And we have so many methods to obtain this solution of matrix equation. And what is that? A Cramer's rule is there for up to 2 by 2, 3 by 3, etc. And many other reduction methods are there. Okay. So as this is a system of B minus A plus 1 equations in B minus A plus 1 unknowns, so we can solve, or we can convert this into matrix equation, and matrix method can be solved. Let K of Km is a separable, then K of Km is summation from I is equal to 1 to P alpha ik beta im. As it is a separable kernel, that means it can be separated out like this: alpha 1 of k, beta 1 of m, plus alpha 2 of k, beta 2 of m, alpha 3 of k, beta 3 of m, up to so on, alpha p of k, beta p of m, where a less than or equal to k, comma m, as well as less than or equal to b. K and m lies between a and b here. Therefore, yk equal to fk plus summation from m equal to a to b, which is already there. Now I am writing this for k of km. K of km means I from 1 to p alpha ik beta im. I from 1 to p alpha ik beta im. This is k of km into im. So this is equal to fk plus summation from I is equal to 1 to p alpha ik into summation from m equal to a to b beta im ym, because m, now here these two terms are dependent of m only, and this is not. I from 1 to p alpha ik is not independent of m, therefore it can be taken outside. This can be taken outside. M from a to b beta im ym. Here yk is equal to fk plus summation from I is equal to 1 to p ci alpha ik. Now alpha ik I will put as it is, and this can be written as ci. It can be written as ci. where Ci is summation from m equal to a to b beta im ym. This is Ci. So what we obtain there? Yk is equal to fk plus summation from I is equal to 1 to p Ci alpha ik. So what we are saying now here? Okay. So if kernel is our separable kernel, then given Fredholm equation can be written in this way: yk equal to fk plus summation from I is equal to 1 to p Ci alpha ik, where Ci is this one. Okay. Multiplying both sides of equation 2 by beta jk and summing from a to b, we obtain both sides of equation 2 by beta jk. So yk into beta jk, fk into beta jk, and this term into beta jk, and take summation from a to b. So I will take summation from k is equal to a to b, beta jk yk equal to summation from k equal to a to b, beta jk fk for this, plus summation from, now this I from 1 to p Ci I have taken, alpha ik, for that k from a to b alpha ik beta jk, because this summation is from k and here is k, therefore we have taken to this one, not for this, because I is independent of k now. Hence now here see k from a to b beta jk yk, k from a to b beta jk fk, and I from 1 to p Ci k from a to b alpha ik beta jk. So Cj equal to uj plus summation I from 1 to p aj I Ci for I less than or equal to j less than or equal to p, where uj is equal to summation from k is equal to a to b beta jk fk. This is uj we have taken. Uj we have taken, right? Cj we have taken for this one, k from a to b beta jk yk, and remaining term summation I from 1 to p, this Ci as it is, Aj we have taken in this one. Aj we have taken in this one. What about here Aj? Why we have taken Aj? Because it will get in of the form A11. Aj means what? Aj1, Aj2, Aj3, Aj4 and so on. K from A to B. Suppose K from 1 to 10 is there. So what type of terms you will obtain here? Alpha I of 1 beta j of 1 plus alpha I of 2 beta j of 2 plus up to plus alpha I of that b beta j of b, isn't it? Then again there are two variables I and j. So if I take I is equal to 1 now, you will get for that alpha 1 of 1 beta j of 1, alpha 1 of 2 beta j of 2, and so on. So we get such types of terms there, Aj Ci, Aj Ci, that can be written as Aj, where Aj is nothing but what is A1j? A1j becomes summation from k equal to a to b alpha jk beta ik, alpha jk beta ik, that will be there. Okay, so after solving this you will get Aj is this one. For example, A1j I will find. See here what is meant by A1j equal to summation from k equal to a to b alpha jk beta 1k. This is A1j, right? What about A11? A11 becomes summation from k equal to a to b alpha 1k beta 1k. That can be written as alpha 1a beta 1a plus alpha 1a plus 1 beta 1a plus 1 plus what to plus what. So I. If I put I is equal to 1, you will get that first term, second term, third term, and so on. So this is just representation of constant term. This is just representation of constant. How many equations here you will get? A to B means B minus A plus 1 will be there, vectors. Here also same, and here also there. Okay. let capital A be a P by P matrix A of Aij given by and C bar equal to C1 up to Cp transpose, U bar equal to U1 up to UPT, then equation 3 becomes, how you can write this as, Caj can be written as what? C bar column matrix equal to this as U bar plus A, this is matrix A into C bar, A into C bar, that can be written as, okay, A into C bar. So I minus A, this is identity matrix, minus A into C bar equal to U bar, where I is the P by P identity matrix, where I is the P by P identity matrix. So what we proved, if C bar is the solution or such in such a way that C1 up to C2 transpose A is given by this matrix, then it satisfies I minus A C bar equal to U bar. So if C bar is the solution, then that C bar satisfies this equation, and therefore the result is true. What result is there? If C bar is a solution of this equation, then the corresponding solution Yk must be this, satisfy this one, okay, which we have taken there. Here Yk is equal to this one. So, and we said that if Ci we have taken in this way, then your that Ci satisfies this matrix equation, isn't it? Okay. We'll solve one example of this Free-Dahl summation equation. Solve the Free-Dahl summation equation. Yk equal to 1 plus summation from m equal to 0 to 19, 1 plus km ym. Now you may say that where k lies between 0 to 19. We may say that how this is your k of km, 1 plus km. Can I write it as 1 into 1 plus k into m? I will give you, this is alpha 1 beta 1 plus alpha 2 beta 2, isn't it? So this is alpha 1 of t beta 1 of m plus alpha 2 of alpha 2 of k beta 2 of k. Therefore alpha 1 of k is 1, beta 1 of m is 1, alpha 2 of k is k, beta 2 of m is m. In this way you are getting these terms, and therefore such types of kernels are called separable kernels. Here we have separable kernel k of km equal to 1 plus km. Let k of km in terms of this summation I from 1 to p alpha ik beta im, right? That means it is summation I from 1 to 2 only. There are only two terms, alpha ik beta im, and how you are writing 1 into 1 k into m. Therefore alpha 1 of k is 1, beta 1 of m is 1, alpha 2 of k is k, beta 2 of m is m. This here we have taken. Therefore now what about a11? a11 is summation k from a to b. What is a here? A is 0, b is 19. Therefore summation k from 0 to 19 alpha 1k beta 1k, a11 alpha 1k beta 1k, alpha ik beta jk. What is aij? aij is summation from a to b alpha jk beta ik. So what is a11 here? a11 is summation from k equal to a to b alpha 1k beta alpha 1k beta 1k. Okay, so what you will get there? a11 is alpha 1k beta 1k. Now summation from 0 to 19, what is alpha 1k is 1, beta 1k is 1, 1 into 1. Now you are taking summation from k equal to 0 to 19 of 1. So if I put k equal to 0, first term 1, second term 1, third term 1 up to k equal to 19, it is also 1. So total 20 terms containing 1 there, and therefore addition is 20. Now what about a12? a12 is summation from k equal to, now both are same, that's why we are written. I will write, what about A12? A12 is summation from k equal to 0 to 19 alpha 2k beta 1k, alpha 2k beta 1k, right? Alpha jk beta ik, it is like that, which is equal to summation k from 0 to 19. What is alpha 2k? Alpha 2k is k and beta 1k is 1. So only this is summation from k equal to 0 to 19k. 0 to 19k. And we know that. What about here? It is addition from 1 to 19. It will get 19 into 19 plus 1 divided by 2. N into n plus 1 divided by 2. So you will get this as 190. Similarly, A21 is nothing but summation from k equal to 0 to 19 alpha 1k beta 2k. This is I is here, this is j is here. Again alpha 1k is 1 and beta 2k is k, therefore it will get summation from k equal to 0 to 19 only k, which is there, and therefore we have written here A12 is nothing but A21. Similarly, A22 is summation from k equal to 0 to 19 alpha 2k beta 2k. Summation from k equal to 1 to 19. What is alpha 2k? Alpha 2k is k, beta 2k is k, so k into k square. Now k square is nothing but 1 square, so summation from k equal to 0 to 19 of k square. If I put k equal to 0, you will get 0. If I put k equal to 1, 1 square plus 2 square plus up to plus 19 square. So this becomes 19 into 20 into 2 into 19 plus 1 divided by 6. Which formula we obtain here? 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square plus up to plus n square. Its formula is n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 divided by 6. N into n plus 1, 2n plus 1 divided by 6. So it is 19, right? 19 into 20 into 2 into 19 plus 1 upon 6. That is 19 into 20. 19 into 2, 38 plus 1, 39 divided by 6. Okay. So here 3 2s are 6 and 13 3s are 39. Then 2 10s are 20. 19, 10, 13. That is 190 into 13. Something 2470. Further, U1 equal to summation from k equal to 0 to 19 beta 1k fk. What is uj? See here. Uj is summation from k equal to a to b beta jk fk. So what is u1? Summation from k equal to 1 a to b beta 1k fk. What is u2? Summation from k equal to a to b beta 2k fk. Now, in this example, your fk is what? 1. Right? So u1 equal to summation from k equal to 0 to 19 beta 1k fk, which is equal to summation from k equal to 0 to 19 beta 1k is 1 and fk is also 1. So it is equal to summation of 1 from 0 to 19, it is 20. u2 summation from k equal to 0 to 19 beta 2k fk. Beta 2k is k, fk is again 1. So we obtain that summation from k equal to 0 to 19k. That means it's the addition from 1 to 19. It is 19 into 20 upon 2, that is 190. Hence, the matrix equation I minus a c bar equal to u bar becomes, what is identity matrix? It is 2 by 2, no doubt. P by P means 2 by 2. But what P is there? Number of terms in that kernel. 2 terms are there. Right? 1001 minus a is what? A11 20, A12 190, A21 190, A22 2470 into C1 C2 equal to U1 U2 20 190. What about here? 1 minus 20 minus 19, 0 minus 190 minus 190, 0 minus 190 minus 190, 1 minus 2470, that is minus 2469, C1 C2 20 190. Now this is the matrix equation, and by using row transformation or by Cramer's rule, you can obtain its a solution. So for that we made this as 0. How we can make this as 0? R2 minus 10 times R1 you have obtained. So it becomes this as 0. There will be no effect on first, and this becomes minus 569. This becomes minus 10. After solving it by finding value of, this is the matrix 1 10 0 1 C1 C2, and corresponding changes are there. So C2 is equal to 10 by 569. We obtain this one. Put that value in any one of equations, C1 plus 10 C2, because first you will get C1 plus 10 C2 is equal to minus 20 upon 19. You put the value of C2 in this equation, you will get value of C1, and therefore yk becomes fk plus summation from I is equal to 1 to 2 ci alpha ik equal to 1 plus c1 alpha 1k plus c2 alpha 2k. Here it is 1. What is c1? C1 is minus 13280 upon 10811 into alpha 1k is 1 plus 10 c2 10 upon 569 into alpha 2k is k. So 1 minus 13280 upon 10811 plus 10 upon 569k, isn't it? This one. So this is the required solution of given Fredholm equation with variable means with variable kernel or separable kernel, we can write with separable kernel. In the same way, we can also solve such equation. Same thing is there. M upon 29 is kernel. So there is only one term in separable kernel, that is alpha 1k is, yes, here lambda goes here, lambda times M29, and beta 1m is M upon 29, isn't it? So here k of km is M upon 29, not M upon 29, lambda times M upon 29, and therefore alpha 1k becomes lambda, beta 1k becomes M upon 29. You will get A11 becomes k from 0 to 29, alpha 1k, beta 1m, lambda k upon 29. So lambda upon 29 constant. If we take addition from 1 to 29, it is lambda upon 29 as it is 29 into 30 upon 2. It is something 15 lambda. Similarly, u1 equal to summation from m equal to 0 to 29. This is u1 beta jk, that is m upon 29 into 2. What 2 is there? What is a u1? U1 is what? U1 is summation from a to b beta 1k fk. What is fk here? Fk here 2. That's why we have taken 2 there. So 2 upon 29. M from 0 to 29. Again 1 plus 2 up to 29. That is 29 30 upon 2. You will get 30. Here I minus a c bar equal to u bar becomes I minus a. I means identity matrix, and as there is only one term, it will get 1 minus a 15 lambda. A11 is the only term there. 15 lambda into c1 equal to 30. So 1 minus 15 lambda c1 equal to 30. Now for lambda equal to 1 by 15, there is no solution of this summation equation. If I take lambda equal to 1 by 15, but for lambda not equal to 1 by 15, this will not be 0. Then c1 becomes 30 upon 1 minus 15 lambda. C1 becomes 30 upon 1 minus 15 lambda, and the corresponding solution becomes yk equal to 2 plus c1 alpha 1k, that is 2 plus 30 upon 1 minus 15 lambda into alpha 1k is lambda. That can be expressed in this way: 2 upon 1 minus 15 lambda, where k lies from 0 to 29. This is just cross multiplication. 2 minus 30 lambda plus 30 lambda upon 1 minus 15 lambda, that is 2 upon 1 minus 15 lambda. But when this is here, 1 not equal to 15 lambda, that is lambda not equal to 1 upon 15. So in this way we can find the solution there. Okay. So this is about Fredholm and Volterra summation equation. Fredholm summation equation and Volterra summation. Fredholm summation equation means what? Upper limit fixed, and Volterra summation equation means upper limit variable, that is a function of something k is there, and both have the solutions, and the solutions can be obtained by using these methods. Okay, so that is the case of Fredholm. So we know that in the integral equation there was Fredholm integral equation and Volterra integral equation. In the same way, we can we can make the study parallel with that integral equation, that summation equation also. So Fredholm summation equation and Volterra summation equations are there also, and those can be solved by using some methods there. Okay, we'll stop here.